spread the sand for, Curly?
Try to get my yard squared away. Got some erosion and got to put some sod down and all.
Now, what does the sand do? Does it kind of brings all the grass together? Is that right? If you got some little patches there where you have no grass, what does sand do for the yard?
All I know is grass loves sand and water.
Yeah, it does love water.
Curly, I got feedback, but I hope you can hear me. The guy that I'm most proud of at quarterback at Alabama is Mac Jones. He stayed in there. Didn't play a little bit, didn't play much, but played some. Knows the system, keeps his mouth shut. Is not afraid to throw it if he needs to throw it. And the way things have fallen right now with the young guys is going to be the number 2 quarterback.
Well, it looks that way based on on the spring game. Matter of fact, I finally got to watch Alabama's spring game last night, so I just jotted down some notes. But on Jones, I said he has improved his delivery. He's naturally his second spring game. You can see his confidence is better, and made a lot of nice short throws. And I can't remember if he had one or two long. Still, sometimes it looks like to me his body starts stressing a little bit. I don't know if it's a little short delivery. But, confidence-wise, you'd have to say he is the number 2. But I'll say this now, the young Tua, the kid brother, he made a throw going to his left in that spring game that I'm not real sure if Jones can make it. Plus, he's
awfully short. Isn't he awfully short?
Yeah, he looks that way when he stands next to his brother and those kind of things. Now, I think they list him at 5'11", but he has a good arm and he's got good feet, and I wouldn't be shocked when it's all said and done. The summer is over. Plus, he's got a pretty good roommate there at the University of Alabama. His brother and his knowledge of the game. Can you imagine all the little things they talk about around that house?
I don't think they should be roommates.
Are they roommates?
Really?
Are they roommates?
Yeah, I don't think they should be.
Yeah, this is not fair to the other quarterbacks. I don't know. But
I just don't think you need to do that. I think they need to spread themselves around.
But doesn't it show you, Curly? We'll see if Tulia can make up ground. But you would hope Mac Jones. He's been in the program 2 years, maybe 2.5. I guess I don't know if he came in January or not. But been through the weight program, knows the playbook inside and out. He should be way ahead of these guys at this point, right? That's what a guy that's been here this long should be.
No question. If he's got any ability at all, and he's got a good football mind, and does look like he has a good football mind. Like you said, the system, and I'm not really sure if the system has changed that much. The spring game, you didn't see a lot. They stayed, I think, pretty simple, offensive and defensively. In the game, you didn't see a lot of motions and movements and those kind of things. But he should be way ahead. And young Tyson, he's got a lot of work ahead of him. He's got to get stronger, thicker. What little bit he played, you can see that he needs a lot of work with his feet and throwing the ball. Matter of fact, when I watched him last year, senior year, I thought he looked better as just mechanically, the little things in high school than he did in the 8-day scrimmage. So it looks like a redshirt year for him, and let him develop and grow, get his quickness, improve his quickness and his feet and his arms. So it look right now Jones would be number 2, but just ability wise, I see Tua's brother having enough ability to fit into that competition.
What do you do? Coach Saban said Tyson has anxiety. It's first time, probably a little bit nervous. Those guys just kind of got to work through that. Like the longer he's here, the more he learns the playbook, the more he gets in the weight room, gets stronger, the more he works on his footwork. Eventually, hopefully, that anxiety will go away. What's been your experience with that, Curly?
It will, and it goes back to if you do it long enough and you really concentrate and working on it, things become second nature. And there's an example of a young player with him being a quarterback. There's a lot on him, so he needs a lot of reps to things. Like I said, it becomes second nature when he sees it. He does it, and you react to it. Probably one of the most important coaching points for any athlete is trust your eyes. Let your body react to what your eyes see, and the confidence level develops. So, biggest crowd he's ever seen for a football game.
Yeah, no doubt.
When I was there, everybody knew Coach Bryant's schedule. I mean, I'm serious. They knew his schedule. They knew when he was flying out, when he was coming back, when they could go play golf, when they could do what they wanted to. Coach Bryant's going to be gone. They knew Miss Pearson, the secretary. They had that down pat. Do you think this new staff will have Coach Saban down pat when he gets involved with this hip problem he's got, and he's in the hospital some? Do you think they've got a goof off staff, or you think that staff will be there working?
They'll be there working, and I don't, like I said, they said Coach Saban, what will be 6, 7, 8 weeks, kind of slow moving.
Well, we don't know, but it's a lot of, we don't have anything to talk about this time of year, so we're talking about that. Yeah,
but that staff will be working, because I think they're still very new there, and go back to that expression again. Let things become second nature, and that also fits the coaches, and the daily must, the things that they must do, and that's another coaching point for kids to improve. Young players, I don't care if it's junior high school, college, or the pros. There's certain things, I call them daily must, that you must do daily to be successful, and that's from assistant coaches. Referring to them on that expression, studying their personnel, studying every little thing about their individual players, and trying to help them improve, motivating, and so I believe they'll be around that office working when it comes time to get their month off or whatever it takes. And most of them probably won't take the entire vacation time.
Coach going to have cameras up there where he can look on his phone and see who's in the office and who's not. Probably.
But Coach Bryant never was. Coach Bryant never was that way. I don't think he was ever concerned that who was there working.
Because they were going to be there.
yeah. But I mean, that's just, you do your thing and be loyal to the program, and go from there.
I don't know if Coach can go in and out of the office once he has this surgery, but I imagine he can. There's a lot of technology now, so he can FaceTime a meeting, have them all in there, and he can be on FaceTime. They can put him up on the screen. I imagine he'll be working as well.
It'd take me forever to figure all that stuff.
Well, he'll have somebody come over the house, set that up.
He need to have announced that, because once you try to do something secretly, they'll say you got every kind of disease in the world. How these writers will. So he was smart in going ahead and identifying this problem.
Going back, the one comment I had written down last night a little bit, talking about the basketball is over except for the NBA. But with both of y'all being basketball, and the importance of every shot. The importance of this golf tournament we just saw, is that not as true can be? The importance of every shot during 4 days. Now go to football. The importance of every snap, and when the fall rolls around and players understanding that, you always come back and say, well, there were 4 or 5 plays in the ball game that was the difference in us winning and losing. So I just wanted to mention that at golf tournament. I thought about watching that the other day, and boy, every shot. Same way in every sport.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts has a good spring game at Oklahoma. He's going to be a good player over there, isn't he?
I missed watch. I really wanted to watch the game, but I can't remember. I was probably spreading sand or something. I'm not real sure what I was doing, but he's a great leader. He's a tough kid. He has ability, and I imagine he's studying his fanny off, trying to make that offense second nature to him and what he sees and how he reacts. So I expect him to have a great season, and if they're worth a hoot defensively, Oklahoma will be back in the hunt for maybe a chance to play for a championship again. So
yeah, all the Alabama. He's only throwing for all those yards because it's Big 12 defenses. That's the next thing they'll say. For whatever reason, they want to knock this kid. I just don't understand it for the life of me.
Like I mentioned over a year ago, after 2 seasons, he was on course to break every record at Alabama offensively. Rushing records, passing records, total yard, everything. So, you know, he was a pretty good player at Alabama, I think.
I was pretty good too. In a spring game like that, Curley, you know, coach said, look, we had a very limited offense. And I'm sure the defense has an advantage in a spring game like that. But would you be concerned at all? Look, if you're going to run the ball, we're going to run it between tackles. We still got to block, whether they know what we're doing or not. Would you be concerned with this offensive line in the running game, what you saw from the spring game?
Well, I saw some offensive linemen get pushed back, knocked back a little bit. So that would be a concern. And this is humorous. Well, we both have known Eddie Conyers for a long time, and I guess Eddie's still out there. But he needs the offensive.
91 years old.
There's several times offensive line, the tackle was lined up so far in the backfield that a couple times he was farther in the backfield than the slot receiver. So they might ought to work on that a little bit too. But are
you saying Eddie he couldn't see down that line? Maybe see if those guys were all sides. Coach Saban get on Eddie for that.
Sometimes I didn't think Eddie could see down that line even back when I was there as a young coach. But he's a great guy, and he's good for the program.
Oh, they love Eddie Conyers.
A lot of drop passes. Going back, I think the group that was the most experienced coming back for Alabama, I think, and a bunch of great players, and plus another freshman added to that wide-out group. But I saw a lot of drop passes, and I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But they're great players and had a lot of drop passes.
That ain't good. There ain't no doubt about that.
Yeah, but their receivers are legit. You ain't gotta worry about those receivers. They got are legit. You ain't got to worry about that receiver.
Yeah, they'll hang on to. Right now, the most important thing, the spring is over. But A through Z with the injury, check out. Don't make any difference if it's a hangnail.
Well, I think this with the week football schedule Alabama has, this week is water. That there's going to be an opportunity late in the fourth quarter for these freshman quarterbacks to play. Anxiety or no anxiety to get themselves. I think that's great. They'll play 4 games and still be redshirted. May not play that many, but to me that gives those young guys. I don't know if the young Tua will beat Jones out or not. I don't think he will. I don't think Nick will let him. Unless he's just super. But certainly the 4-game redshirt rule is a great rule right now for Alabama.
I don't think there's any question about that. And at the same time now, Jones is still a little bit of a spring chicken. Now, if you go back to the total snaps, so that week's schedule is going to give that young man a chance in pressure situations, packed stadium, give him a chance to get a lot more reps, which is going to help him down the road as the season goes along. And if you do have an injury, so the advantage of playing a lot of young kids, a lot of young players to let that, once again, I'll go back to enough reps in real situations to make things happen and improve, and for things to become second nature. And so it's a big plus for Alabama with that schedule.
Girl, I want to ask you a recruiting question. Trendon Watford, the kid at Mountain Brook, was going to make his decision Saturday at the Jordan All-Star game. He came out yesterday. He's been the countdown. He's got it between, they say, Alabama, Memphis, LSU, and Indiana. Maybe Will Wade coming back now. LSU's back in. I don't think so. He came out yesterday and said, well, now the game's not on TV, so I'm going to postpone my announcement. I'm going to let you know when it's going to be. You know, all those coaches are like, are you freaking kidding me? Let's get this thing over with. At what point, depending on your roster, and I know Nate Oates is here. He's a big-time recruit, top 20. He's got to get the guy. But if you have a couple other guys that you're kind of trying to hold off because you're waiting to find out what Watford's going to do, you can only hold them off for so long. Does it ever come to a point where you get sick of the situation, and you say, look, we really, really want you, but we got to know by Wednesday because I've got a couple other guys I can get. Do you ever get to that point, or do you just have to ride it out with these kids?
Well, with Coach Oates being new there, and what kind of relationship in a short period of time does he have with this prospect? No, there's no doubt. I guess he's a great player, number one ranked player in the state, I think, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
so,
by far, no doubt.
And I think you ride it out with him, but at the same time, you got a couple other guys because of your numbers.
Yeah,
that's close to him. Yeah, gee whiz, man, that's a tough decision. Now, if this coach had been here for 2 or 3 years and had a relationship with a kid, it might be an easier decision for the kid from Mountain Brook to make, but it'll reach a point if you're going to lose a couple other guys that can win for you. You better go ahead and get those guys.
Yeah, to me, it's just I know the kid, everybody's, let him have his glory. You only sign one. But his brother played at Indiana. They've been through the recruiting process. He's been recruited. He knows everything about it. To me, it's a selfish act. Make your decision, and then maybe they could get another guy who wants to play with you. Quit stringing this thing out. Coaches get so frustrated, but they can't tell them what they really think. They've got to ride it out. To me, it's one of the most frustrating things in recruiting to deal with.
It'll drive you nuts. And a quick story talking about reach a point of no return. I'm watching a high school game. During the recruiting season, I mentioned before, I'd love to go watch those football players play basketball. So I watched one kid play. So I'm going to hurry on over to Italy, Texas, kind of south of Dallas-Fort Worth. This kid I've been recruiting on for probably 3 or 4 years. And I already had his teammate on the team there at A&M. So I'm hurrying on one of these side roads from this other school close to Italy. I'm going to that high school, and I know by the time I get there, the game's going to be just about over. But on that little side road, I was driving. I saw a flicker in front of me. It looked like there was a guy coming head on with his lights off. And I swerved off the road and finally hung in there, and I pulled off the side of the road. I'm sweating. I drive on to that gym, and that game's over. Let the parents and the kid know that I was there. I called his fanny up shortly after that at home, and I explained to him what happened. I said, I'm going to tell you what. You're going to call me in the next 24 hours, and you're going to tell me if you're coming to Texas A&M or if you're not, because I'm done with you. I almost got killed coming over here just to let you know that I was at the game and all that crap. So call me.
Yeah.
Anyway, he called me about midnight that night and said, Coach, I'm coming. I said, well, good. We're playing the game. And so anyway, it turned out to be a great player.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good question to ask him, too, at that point in time.
Yeah, because I was done with that.
It gets frustrating, but you just have to bite your tongue, and so we'll see what happens. Hopefully he'll make a decision next week, but postponing it, come on, dude. Just
these college football players right now, the most important thing, like I said, is semester's about over, but your injury check out and individual meetings with your position coach and the one-on-one meeting with your head coach, I feel sure Coach Saban probably has those. But your academics finish strong, then I always had forms. And for the older players, I'd pull out their older checkout form, which had they'd written down their short range, long range goals, and a lot of other little things. And we'd go over that, and they'd have another form there, the new one. Kept all that in the file, and for these true freshmen that are in there right now, the first time they've ever had these one-on-one meetings with their position coach and evaluations, whatever you want to call it. And it's important for these players to write this stuff down and see how far they've come within a year. And you show them again what they wrote down, all the little things. Read it back to me. Are you on course for reaching your goals, short range and long range goals?
Yeah.
So those one-on-one meetings can be very important to that young man, motivational wise, and you're totally honest with him, where he'll get his fanny jacked up during the summer, lifting and training program and individual throwing and catching drills. So it's an important time for these players. I know they relax now, and some of them probably go out and raise too much cane.
You think the players behind the scene are making fun of Coach Saban because he's got a hurt hip?
Oh, no doubt.
They'll imitate him.
Yeah,
They'll imitate him walking, and that's just.
My hip wasn't that. My hip was worse than his, and I played.
Yeah, he's saying he's been coaching injured. Most of them guys couldn't do that. He's tougher than the players. What he said.
But,
so
heck, I've even seen players that could imitate Coach Bryant's voice, and they some of them are still doing it to this day, imitating some of the things that they only do amongst themselves, like they did back when they played. But they ain't sure wasn't going to do it anywhere where if they knew Coach Bryant was around.
all right, Curly, we got to go spread you some sand.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks.